Okay, guys, let's just do this. So I was going to record a post about this, but I'm like, what the heck? Let me just do it live on YouTube. Never done live on YouTube before. The question that comes up, gosh, if I had $1 for every time this topic came up, middle-aged spread, belly fat that happens with age. Why does it happen? I could explain it. I don't really know what why people are so puzzled about it anymore. I mean, 1 second. The answers are out there. So there's a few of them, but let's start with the tough love one, right? And I'm 56, so I can talk about this. So yes, our body changes with age. I'm sorry, don't stop getting mad about it. That's age. Ages brings changes. However, people tend to think when we get to midlife, it's like downhill from now on, and you know that you're not valid in the world, you're invisible in the world, or some crap like that. And part of it is because our body composition can change, but we all know the person that's the same age as us, or even maybe older, and they're in great shape, and they always have been. And I'm as smart as them, I'm as good as them. Why have they managed to do it and I haven't? Blah blah. This self-talk, right? So one thing that happens in mid-age is the fact that thank you. The fact that sorry, I'm doing a live. I just switched on spontaneously, so I don't even know if anybody will even see this straight away. One reason it happens with age is because we change. I'm 56. I used to run 8 miles 4 days a week, and I don't anymore. That changed. People become empty nesters, their kids leave, and all of a sudden they're having cocktails at lunch, or they're not quite as active. Life changes, and that shows up. And honestly, the main reason for body composition changing with age is because life changes. And you might not feel that it does, but if you're honest, it does. I have one lady, and her body's changed. And when we come to it, it's all, well, she used to run around Manhattan, and now she doesn't. It matters. So our lifestyle changes, not right nor wrong, but it changes. So tough love, but that is what's happening. Our eating gets a little bit sloppier. Our activity changes. We are, maybe it's just families change, careers change, whatever. A large part of body composition changes, but a few other things happen as well. So let's talk about some hormones. Let's talk about the obvious one, cortisol. We blame cortisol for everything, right? And I think maybe we cling on to that too much and blame that too much. But it is true, there are more cortisol receptors in our midsection. So when we are stressed, we are more liable to gain weight there. But cortisol will also difficult. So the digestive system on the parasympathetic nervous system, which is a relaxed state, and cortisol is working with the sympathetic nervous system, which is an excited state. So when we have high cortisol, for one, we're retaining water, bloated because of aldosterone, but also food is going through our body slower, so we feel more digestive issues, we're more bloated and things like that. And true, cortisol, when we are in a prolonged elevated cortisol state, it can do some serious damage. I mean, it will strip muscle away, and it strips it from the extremities. It takes muscle from your arm and makes you gain weight in your belly, which is not an attractive look, but that is what cortisol can do. It breaks collagen down 10 times faster than any other tissue, so your skin's going to crap. Your skin is getting affected. And yes, it's triggering the hormone aldosterone, which is making you retain water. Very fast acting hormone. So yeah, cortisol to blame. So we can look at our sleep patterns, the number one thing to look at, which is why, quick plug, hold on a second. Works rather well. I have to put that in. But yes, cortisol. Stress, good sleep is probably the number one I see. Can go get onto sleep, and then it causes snacking and blah, 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 less motivated to train, all that. So cortisol, yes. Can we control cortisol? There's a lot of things in our life that we can't control. And we maybe can't control it completely, but we can control it somewhat. Meaning that if you know sleep's the issue, then there are definitely things that we can do to improve our sleep. sleeping, turning the temperature down, sleeping in a cooler room, cooler sheets. If your body temperature is high, you're going to find it harder to sleep. Don't eat too soon before going to bed, because that again will create heat, makes it harder to sleep. Alcohol makes it harder. So there's all these things we can do to improve sleep. Going to bed 15 minutes earlier, yes, you can. A lot of things we can do to improve sleep. This is not a sleep video, but cortisol, yes. Cortisol, stress, there's stress management things you can do. I always like to say that there's at least one thing that when you do it, you literally feel your body decompress. I mean, some people say massage. I personally don't like getting massaged. I'm English, don't touch me. But other things, it can be playing with your pets. It can be, I haven't got kids. So I like to say playing with your children, but I guess people disagree with me on that. Let's talk about the big one here, the one that I don't hear people talk about as much, and that is the enzyme LPL, lipoprotein lipase. LPL, lipoprotein lipase. And lipoprotein lipase is like I'm going to really simplify it, so don't criticize me. It's simplification to get the message across clearly, right? Imagine there's a cell, right? LPL sits on the outside of the cell, and it's like the gatekeeper. So when LPL is really active and really excited, it will pull fat into the cell, and the cell you'll store more fat in the cell. When LPL is quiet, more fat does not get dragged into the cell, and it goes off to be used as energy. Hurrah, hurrah, right? So what happens over our life is LPL can be active in different areas. And this is, in my opinion, one of the main reasons for fat patterning. So say when a lady gets pregnant, LPL becomes very active in her lower body. And even a lady that's had very slim hips, she'll get big thighs and a big butt because the body is trying to store more fat there, right? Then she has the baby, and the LPL becomes more active around her chest and her bust area. Boobs get huge, armpits get heavy. The weight can actually come off the legs with exercise and nutrition, but that the LPL activity changes. Now it changes again in midlife. So now we're talking about the midsection here. So until this point, LPL has been kind of quiet in our midsection, kind of quiet, it's kind of sleepy, which is great. However, when our sex hormones drop, so when estrogen drops, when testosterone drops, we're kind of inhibiting LPL a little bit. They were keeping it quiet. Estrogen women, testosterone, they were keeping it quiet. And when they drop, then that inhibition goes away and LPL can get more excited. Now, while LPL is more excited, now it can pull more fat into storage. And hey ho, we have an expanding waistline, even though we're not eating anymore. We're not eating any differently. We haven't exercised less or any of that. But yes, LPL becomes more active in our midsection and we gain more fat. Now, at the same time, but less appreciated, LPL is less active on the lower body. So ladies that used to have the big thighs and big hips, actually their legs may be getting slimmer. And we'll see this, that the elderly people with the little pin legs and the big belly. And this is fat patterning, and it changes. So LPL activity changes with age. Guys will get more fat patterning on their backs, definitely through their midsection. And a lot of that in the midsection, I mean, when you get midsection weight, unless it's your body type, and I in my coaching programs, I describe body types, endomorphs, ectomorphs, androgenic, estrogenic, all that stuff, right? But when we're starting to get this weight gain, this body composition change, the body shape change with midlife, it's nearly always hormonal. So yes, there's cortisol, which we do have some control over. And we love to blame it, but we don't like to do anything about it. And there's also this LPL, lipoprotein lipase enzyme, which is getting more excited and it's pulling more fat into storage because our sex hormones are dropping. Okay, so people want to run out and do HRT. I'm going to do now with HRT, hormone replacement therapy. In all the clients I have worked with, which is we've been doing this for 30 years, I mean, crazy amount. I've never had worked with anyone that did HRT and was like, oh my gosh, I got my body back. I look like a 20-year-old again. Don't expect this massive physical body composition change with HRT. It's usually like they feel better, their energy's better, they sleep better. But I see the person that's all of a sudden dropped all this weight because they started a little bit of hormone replacement therapy. Um, that being said, so it's the excitement of this lipoprotein lipase that can be the issue. But what excites lipoprotein lipase more than anything? If you've worked with me, you know what the answer is. So what excites LPL more than anything is insulin. Okay, so insulin absolutely excites lipoprotein lipase, and it's like a perfect storm if we're middle age and we've got cortisol's maybe going crazy, maybe we're not sleeping very well, maybe the lady's going through menopause, having trouble sleeping, they're maybe stressed, not sleeping as well, other stresses in life, maybe their lifestyle has changed a little bit, few too many of this and not enough of this, cortisol is elevated, sex hormones are dropping, lipoprotein lipase is getting more excited, and then we throw insulin into the mix and the whole party just erupts. We have some control over cortisol and we have a lot of control over insulin. I work with guys and gals, and the ones that can avoid the average woman gains 30 pounds during midlife, right? Now, I'm not saying the body composition is not going to change. I'm not going to say there's not a uniqueness with some people, but I am going to say the people that control their insulin can dodge that bullet pretty well. Insulin is the match that lights the fire. So when we blame, oh, it's hormonal, my hormones are messed up. Well, for one, until you show me your blood work, I'm not going to go with that. But, oh, my hormones are messed up. Maybe they are, and maybe they're all, and I coach all about this. But the one hormone that will really throw you for a loop, the one hormone that just literally throws a match on the fire is insulin. And insulin we can absolutely control. Insulin is not about doing a zero carb diet, although if you want to, you can. It's not about doing keto. It's not about doing fasting, although fasting does crush insulin. There are many ways to control insulin. I don't really hang my hat on any one of them. I have my favorites. With my coaching, with my clients, with my groups, I try and explain all of it and then be like, okay, which approach works best for you? So I with my clients, I try and find their tools. Like, what tools do they have? Let's use your tools. So say I get the person that wants to run 8 miles 4 days a week, then great. I'm going to use that as a tool. Great. I can create an energy deficit. You like to run 8 miles 4 days a week. Fantastic. Then I get the client that I really can't eat much in the morning. Fabulous. Let's use fasting because you're kind of doing it already. Other people like, I really don't want to eat much. I like to eat little bits during the day. Fine, not my favorite, but it works. Let's do a lot of small meals during the day. So what I mean is there's a lot of different ways. This thing of it's lipolysis, but this thing of weight loss and changing your body composition, it's a little bit like the analogy I use a lot is a little bit like on a highway. You've got like 6 lanes over here. Well, in America anyway, 6 lanes over here. And if you want to gain weight, you just have to drive. You don't have to drive. You can be all over the place and you'll gain weight. We don't have to master that. But to lose weight and actually like optimize your body composition, it's like the bike lane. If you're in the bike lane, you're good. You're fine, right? But if you're just over the bike lane, and that's where most people are, they're like dodging in and out of the bike lane and they're getting nowhere and it's super frustrating. I can show you how to stay in the bike lane. It's not that difficult. So when it comes to the mid-age, is everybody over the age of 32 actually thinks they're middle-aged. That's the funny thing. Yes, it's hormonal, but the main culprits are 2 hormones that we can't control, and it's not that difficult to do. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to completely jump on a live and just do this. So I'm just like this. This is how I coach. I coach with information. I coach by giving people the why, telling them the why, explaining the solutions, offering them different ways of doing it and finding the one that works best with them. Because if I don't have to change their life too much, we have compliance, but they have to know why. If I just throw somebody a diet, which I used to do, they'll last, on average, somebody lasts 2 months, right? Then they blame themselves, right? If I tell them the why and I give them this sort of information, right? And then I tell them to do X, Y, Z, but they understand why. Now I get compliance. You know, the weight loss industry has a failure rate of about 94%, I believe. I am honestly going to say with my clients, I have 100% success. I'm not saying they don't go in and out. I'm not, but they know how to get back on the horse. That is how I coach. I coach with information. Anyway, that is when it comes to middle-aged spread, especially the increasing waistline, lifestyle. Check out what you're doing. How is it different than it was maybe 10 years ago? There's probably going to be something that pops up for myself as well. You know, I work at home more. I sit down and work a lot more than I used to before I was on my feet all day. I don't run 8 miles 4 days a week. I'm not as strong as I used to be. All this stuff adds up. And what it means is we have to sharpen other things up, right? So if this is kind of slacking, I have to sharpen up my nutrition. I have to sharpen up my hydration. I have to start sharpening up my sleep. That's all. It doesn't mean I have to exercise like I did when I was 35. I don't think my knees or my hip would even like me to do that or let me do that. But I do have to then sharpen some other things. Cortisol, a real deal. Yes, it will strip muscle off your extremities. It'll make you hold water. It'll crush your digestive system, ruin your skin, and give you a big belly. Absolutely. We have control over it. Lipoprotein lipase is, yes, it is. It gets more excited when the sex hormones start to decline with age, which in itself can help us like we need help. We'll create a fat storage in the midsection. But what excites LPL more than anything is insulin. And we have absolute control over insulin. Absolute control. But there isn't just one way of doing that. There's many. My Mastering Midlife program is coming up. It starts on next Sunday. It starts on June the 11th. It runs till July the 8th. It is an online group coaching program. My groups are awesome. Love my tribe, man. There's usually anywhere from 30 to 50 people in a group, maybe 25. I don't know. Be as active or as invisible as you want in the group. Some people never show up on the coaching program. Some people make every Zoom I do, and I do 3 Zooms a week. Now, the reason that I do that is because with regards to my coaching, one sec. Thank you, Henry. Where I stand with my coaching, I'm a small fish in a very big pond, right? There's a zillion weight loss coaches out there, but I'm a coach. So the reason I do 3 Zooms a week, it's a lot on me, and they're all live and they go too long and I talk too much and all this stuff. I answer all the questions, but I'm a coach. So yes, I could build a program and I could say, hey, here's everything, and I'm going to send you a recording every week or something like that. People need connection. People need to be part of something. People need to feel connected with me. So with my coaching, what I try and make it happen is, if somebody's struggling, if they're like falling off a little bit, there's never more than a day or so before they have the opportunity to actually be with me on the screen again, so I can keep them on track. I really like to succeed, and the way I do that is through my clients. So Mastering Midlife, I've got 5 programs. This is the 5th one. It's a big program. There's a lot of information. I mean, a lot of information. It is designed for weight loss, in middle age and beyond. So the 5 programs, they all progress. This is like the crescendo of my programs. It is absolutely awesome. I haven't coached it for 10 months because I do my programs in order. So then when I start them again, I'm not sure when I will get to this one again. It might be another 10 months. I hope not, but that could well be the case. If you are a person that doesn't, if you don't like being told what to do, but you don't mind doing something if you understand why you're being asked to do it, then perfect for you. If you're curious and you have a curious mind and you like things explained, I am your coach because I will over explain everything, right? If you are ready to do the work, and what I mean by that is my programs aren't difficult to implement. I mean, the information is a lot, but the actual game plan at the end is very straightforward and simple. But what I find with people, especially when we get to the age of maybe 35 and above, like 40s, 45, 50, all this lot. So people think that they're up against it. They think that they haven't got youth on the side and everything's going to be so much harder. I'm not going to say it's as easy. It's not. It is definitely a little bit harder. But what people bring to the game is their mindset and their expectations. You know, the greatest reason diets fail is because people come in with unrealistic, unattainable expectations that are based on nothing. People come in like, I need to drop 30 pounds this month. Why on earth do you think you're going to drop 30 pounds in a month? But they come in with that sort of expectation and they fail, boom, like that, right? A lot of younger people do that. When people get a bit older, the people that come to me, they're like, okay, I'm done with this. I need to change. I need an answer. I'm ready to listen and work. And they don't have crazy expectations. They have realistic expectations. And I find that mindset is more powerful than actually the benefits of youth. Okay. So Mastering Midlife, it starts really soon on June the 11th. Registration is going to close the Friday before. It is a month-long online group coaching program, 12 live coaching calls, all of which are recorded. Just a lot of fun. It's epic. If you've liked this recording, you will love the program. But it starts real soon. So the website, it's link in bio or whatever it is, but it's midlifemonth.com. And if you have any questions at all, just go to bio and contact me. Happy to answer any questions you might have. But that is why our body composition changes with age. We have a lot of control. All right.